Hello everyone. How are things going with you? It's been about a week or so since we've spoken last, and depending on what area you are living in, perhaps it's been a very busy week. Here where I am at, we've had quite a few things going on. We've had a couple of holidays. We had Valentine's Day. We had Family Day. We had some of our restrictions lifted, so we are out of lockdown. And on the first day of us coming out of lockdown, we had a snowstorm. So you might be feeling a little bit razzled, not just with the events of your week, but just with the whole situation that you are in. And today I thought we would do something that's very gentle, restorative, yin-like. So in today's video, you are going to need some props. We've talked about props in a previous video. So you are going to need something to prop up your body, because we are going to want the support so that we can relax into some of the poses. So I have a whole bunch of stuff. I have my blocks, I have my bolster, I have a blanket. You might have a pillow around that might help you. A couple of those might come in quite handy. Maybe instead of a bolster, I have one of my old yoga mats, and you can roll that up and use it as a bolster as well. So you're going to need some props. So you might even want to take a second or two to go get some stuff. Depending on what you have around the house, you might want to pause the video and go get some stuff. I've turned down the lights a little bit so that it's a little bit more of a softness to the look. I am dressed extremely comfy-wumpy. Make your space as comfortable as you need. Maybe you want to have some soft music playing. Maybe you want a candle going or something. But it's not going to be very strenuous. So like I said, today I have my comfy-wumpy socks on. It doesn't have to be anything too fancy, which is another advantage of these videos. It doesn't matter what you look like. You could be doing this practice in your house coat with your hair in curlers for all I know, or for all I care. It doesn't matter. If you are comfortable, then that's the most important thing. Yes? So today I would like to start I'm going to start in a sit position. Now, some of you might find that sitting on your feet, ankles, sitting down is a little uncomfortable. So you can take your block or pillow or something and kind of put it between your feet, and that could be whatever height, and you can sit here. We're going to be holding these poses a little bit longer, so make sure that you use your appropriate prop, whatever it is, your pillow, whatever, so that you're comfortable. So if you are thinking that the sit position is best for you, you want to keep your head upright, get yourself settled in that hero's pose where you're sitting on your heels, maybe using a prop. I'm going to also suggest, if you're up for it, to use your props to make some sort of elevation. Again, you can put your pillows there. And we're going to come into a supported child's pose. So I have my feet untucked back behind me so that I can relax my ankles. So again, find the foot position that works for you if you're coming to join me here. I'm going to take my knees a little wider, And I'm going to have this support kind of in front of me. Now, as I lay over this, I would like to have whatever I have here, my pillows, my bolsters, my blocks, whatever I have, something that I can support myself. So I don't want it too far away and I don't want it too close. You have to find your comfy spot. We're all going to look a little different as we adjust our props. So either you're in a sit position in hero's pose, or you're going to come down to a supported child's pose. Now in your supported child's pose, you could keep your neck neutral and be looking down at your prop. You might notice that body parts get in the way. My nose gets in the way for that. So I can use my hands as a little prop, or I can simply rest a cheek. So take a breath or two just to settle into this supported child's pose. And then just notice where you are feeling some tension. If you're in a sit position and you need to readjust a little bit to get more comfortable, readjust. If you're noticing that maybe there's an issue in the low back area, again, use your prop to help support your body. And just start to notice what you notice. You can close your eyes. You can soften the gaze if closing the eyes are a little uncomfortable for you. And we are going to hold this for at least 10 breaths. So don't be so concerned about needing to watch the video. Just listen to your body and allow it to go into this pose and relax. Depending on what's around you, you might notice some sounds that are a little different. I notice the sound of my fireplace. I have the heat on. I want to be comfy, womfy in this practice. I don't want to be cold because I don't like cold. As you allow your body to settle, allow your body to relax. It doesn't matter what shape you're in. Whatever position suits you best, see if you can melt your body into your prop. Whatever your prop is, wherever it is, allow it to support you. Don't be holding tension. If you are in the position where your one cheek is down on your bolster or prop, very slowly and gently, just lift your head and turn the other cheek down towards your prop. Allow your head to rest if you're in this supported child's pose. If you're in a sit position, just remain seated. Maybe adjusting slightly so that you're more comfortable. You basically want your muscles just to melt and allowing that stress, any anxiety that may have been built up, just to relax. We want the most comfortable space that we can find right now. There's no right or wrong answer. There's no right or wrong shape. It's what works for you right now. What prop is going to help you help support your body. You might notice that your breath is a little different. When we don't exert a lot of energy, we're hoping that our breath becomes very smooth and maybe even slower. Take 1 or 2 more cycles of breath here. And remember, we're taking our time today. We're not doing any quick movements. We're very lazy today. We're allowing our bodies just to kind of flop around, not in a way that's going to harm us, but in a very gentle way. Nothing too abrasive, nothing too fast. And then as you finish that breath, if your torso is down, lift your torso. Just remove your props off to the side a little bit. Have them close by, but just remove them right from the center. I suppose you could still have your blocks right here in the middle, but we are gently and slowly going to come to a very easy tabletop. Now, depending on how your ankles feel, you might need to give them a little bit of a tap here just to kind of wake them up, especially if that's a sensitive area for you. And then once you've had enough movement in those ankles, feet, toes, I'm going to try to tuck my toes under. And again, for some of us, that's going to be difficult. So make sure that you're coming into this very gently. Don't jam into the toes unless you're quite ready for it. You might notice that's what you want. So I'm just gently going to kind of work my way into those toes and arches. And I'm going to shift my weight forward into a tabletop. And then I'm just going to kind of sit my bum back towards my heels. And notice how much weight can I put into those toes, those arches. And again, only doing what you can. Moving to your range, moving where it's comfortable for you, listening to your hands if that's your particular problem. And just gently moving front and back, putting a little bit weight into the feet, arches, toes, and then a little bit of weight into the wrists. Real gentle, slow here, probably going slower than you normally would. And that's kind of what we want. We really want to go slow, steady. So just a little bit of movement here. And then if you've had a little bit of movement and it's sufficient, see if you can tuck those toes under. And then see if you can kind of walk your hands a little bit towards your knees so that you put a little bit more pressure into those toes and arches and ankles. And just see if you can lift your torso up just for a very short time, like a breath or so. If you have to come out of this, back into your tabletop, not a problem, go back to tabletop. And then gently come out of that. And we're going to take a very gentle, easy movement into down dog. So from our tabletop, tuck the toes under. And all I'm going to do is gently push the bum back towards my heels. And then I'm going to come forward into tabletop. Keeping the knees very bent, just pushing back into a very easy down dog, and then coming back to tabletop. Noticing how my hands feel, how my shoulders feel. And again, if you notice that this movement is too much, keep the knees on the floor and just take that rocking motion front and back. We just want a little bit of movement to release any tension that we might be holding. I'm going to take a few more rocks here, front and back, exerting a little bit of energy, but nothing too much. And then if I need a child's pose, I'll take a child's pose, but I'd like to move on to our next shape. It's going to be a very gentle version of pigeon. So I'm going to come over to one side, and I'm going to turn so you can see both ways, just in case you're uncertain what we're going to do. I'm going to bring my one leg in front. I'm going to go with my left leg first. And what I'd like to try to do is have my shin and my thigh bone at about 90 degrees. Yes? Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not going to measure. And my back leg also at a 90 degree-ish. I notice for me, my back leg is a little bit different than 90. It's probably like 80. So I'd like to have this type of a shape so that I can try to work my hip. Now this is where some props are going to come in handy. I might notice that for me to take my torso parallel or towards my knee is a little uncomfortable. I might have to angle towards my left foot. But I would like to take my torso forward a little bit. Find where you can come forward, and this is where you can have your props to help you. You can have a pillow or two, and you can kind of rest your arms here so that you can relax the shoulders. Now you will have a little bit of work going on in the arms if you've decided to stay upright and you're using your arms as a little bit of a brace. What we'd like to do is relax the hips as much as possible. So once you've decided what shape you can come into, find that little edge where you start to feel some business in the front, which is right now my left hip, glute-ish. I might even feel something in the back hip, but this is where we're concentrating is in the front hip. You might notice that you have to readjust those props a little bit so that you can get comfy. Because we're going to hold this for a little bit longer, take that breath or two to find what works for you, what prop is going to help you relax. And as you try to soften, you might notice that the opposite happens. The more you try to soften, the more you tense up. And that's why we're going to hold this for a little bit longer so that your body has an opportunity to let go. Avoid the fidgeting, but find your space. Do you want to rest your head? Depending on how far you are, you might notice that your head is pretty close to the floor. Maybe you need that pillow or prop to help you. See where you can soften. And don't forget to breathe. Notice if you're gripping in your breath, gripping in your body somewhere. Where can you soften? Again, we're trying to melt into the mat. Don't worry about what you think you should look like. Right now, be more concerned with how you feel. You want to feel comfortable, relaxed. You want those muscles to release the tension. You don't want to create more tension. You want to release, let go. Notice what you notice. Do you notice the breath changes? Do you notice your body changing? And there's no correct or incorrect answer. Just notice. You are unique to you. One more cycle of breath here. And again, very gently, slowly lift the torso. Again, feeling what you're feeling. And we're going to add a little bit of a twist to this. And again, gently, I'm just going to move my prop over to the side. I'm going to my left side. And I'm going to see if I can just lift the torso up. And with my exhale, I'm going to turn it towards the left. And just notice, how far can you turn? Is it just a little bit because your hips and legs won't allow you to go any further? You might notice that you're able to twist and be looking at the back of your mat. Kudos to you if you can. I'm going to go with just a gentle twist here. So I'm going to notice my spine. Find the spot that's comfortable for you. And again, notice if you just want to stay upright, or maybe I'm going to fold my torso down towards the floor, towards my prop. I might notice that I can come down to my forearms. Maybe I can rest my head down. Maybe I'm engaging a little bit of my shoulders to prop my torso up, but I'm still able to get a twist. So again, you may not look exactly like me. You might be in a twist that's much more aggressive. But once again, nothing too harsh for you today. Is your breath still smooth? We're going to take about 5 breaths here. Once again, noticing what you notice. Where can you relax? Where can you use a prop to help you? Finish that cycle of breath. And once again, very slowly, gently, kind of wiggle yourself out of that pose. This is where we all kind of look like we're a little drunk. I'm just going to move the prop a little bit away, and I'm going to untwist the torso and bring that back leg forward, just so that I can hear all the snap, crackle, popping in my torso, in my hips, in my bones. Oh, it sounds like popcorn over here. I don't know if you can hear it on the video. And I'm just going to take a 2-second breather here to release that twist. So I'm just going to have my hands behind me, have my feet in front, knees are bent, and I'm just going to wiggle, jiggle here a little bit, swaying the knees side to side a little bit. So after a twist, you still want to allow your spine to kind of relax and take a second breather before we get into another pose. So we are going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. And if you're using your props, you might notice that one side requires some sort of prop, and the other side requires either more prop, less prop. It might not be exactly the same on both sides. So here we go. I'm going to set myself up on the other side. So now I'm going to swing my left foot back behind me. I'm going to try to set up my front right shin and thigh at a 90-ish degree. My back thigh and shin at something that's comfortable for you. You might notice that you're exactly at 90-90. You might notice that this back hip is a little tight and you can't quite get it. So this is our modified pigeon pose. And again, you might be sitting very upright here and be noticing that your hips are really tight, that you can't fold any further at this moment. If you think you might want to take the torso and fold it, take that prop, put it where you think you might need. Maybe you need 2 or 3 pillows. Maybe a block and 2 or 3 pillows. But notice where you can find the support. So use those props to support that torso so that these hips can relax. So if you've propped yourself up and you notice, oh, that's really not comfortable, I can't stay there for very long, change. You might need to change the angle of your legs a little bit, depending on where your tightness is. We're looking to see if we can relax the front leg, which right now is my right leg, that hip, so that my right hip, that's where I'm trying to get in. That glute area, that hip area. This version of our pigeon pose here, I can actually feel it in both hips. But it's the front hip that we're trying to really get into that relaxed state. Find your prop, find your position, relax into it so that you can stay here for a nice long time. And long is relative, and I'm talking about 10 or so breaths. Now again, you might notice that you're breathing a little faster. It's okay. See if you can soften. Notice where you're gripping. Where can you try to soften? It's all about finding that spot that works for you on this side. Be comfortable. Find that breath. And do your best just to try to relax into it. Not being concerned at all with your actual shape. Go with the feeling. Your body will tell you if you need to make those little adjustments, but try to avoid fidgeting for the entire time that we're in the pose. We want the time to allow that muscle to relax. If we're constantly readjusting, constantly fidgeting, it doesn't have the time to relax. So give yourself the permission to slow down, do less work, so that your body gains more. Keep the breaths nice and smooth. And once again, just notice what you notice. One more full cycle of breath here. And then very slowly and gently lift the torso if you went down. We're going to add that twist again. So I'm going to take my prop and I'm going to move it over to the right side of my body. How far over? I don't know. Let's see how my torso feels. So again, I want to take that inhale to lift the torso and use your exhale to turn, twist towards that right side. How far are you twisting? Where's comfortable for you? Notice that breath. Your breath is going to tell you if you've gone too far. If you can't breathe because you're too twisted, that's a pretty good indication that you've gone too far. And then once you've found your twist, decide if you're going to stay upright or are you going to be able to soften the torso down. And again, listen to your body. Where are you going to be able to find a comfy spot? Listen to how your torso feels, your spine, how your neck feels, how your shoulders feel. And we'll be here for about 5 breaths. Do the best you can to keep still. Notice what you notice here. Can you take those full breaths? Or have you put yourself in a position so uncomfortable and so twisted that you can't breathe? We want to be able to breathe. We want to be able to relax so that those muscles can get all of those nice benefits of releasing. One more cycle of breath. Taking your time, no rushing, no jarring movements. If your torso is down, once again, gently prop yourself up, lifting the torso, untwisting the torso, bringing that back foot forward, nice and gentle, slow. Maybe move a couple of things around. Bring yourself back to that sit position. My feet are in front, my knees are bent, my arms are back behind me, and I'm just going to take a second or two here to take any little movement. What little wiggle jiggle do I need to do here to allow my spine to recover from that twist? This is your time to see, was your choice, your modification, the best suited for you? Did you misjudge? Did you go too far, too little? It's okay. We're just investigating different shapes that we can put our body into so we can find some space. So we've worked on our hips quite a bit, and now I'd like to work on the torso, upper body, shoulders. I'm going to take my props and I'm going to make some sort of, think of it as a little bit of a ski hill. So I like to go pretty close to the floor, but you might notice that lying down, if you don't like Shavasana because you don't like to take your head down low, you might want to take your little angle here and make it higher. You can prop up things here behind you like this to make it a little higher. I know that this type of height is pretty good for me. So I'm going to make a little bit of a ski slope here. Yeah, you can see that. So again, use whatever you need to kind of make a little bit of an angle here. You could have it pretty straight as well. I noticed that a little bit of an angle makes it more comfortable for me. And what I'm going to do is have that little ski slope back behind me. So it's going to be a little bit further from my low back. I'm not going to actually have it touch, but this shape here, or sorry, not so much the shape, this space here is going to be determined by you. And all I'm going to do is kind of lean back onto it. And I want to find somewhere where I can rest my head and shoulders. Bum is on the floor. And I'm going to find where I can be very relaxed in the low back. So try not to have too big of an arch. You might even need to take that other prop that you have, another pillow, and support yourself. And we want to allow the shoulders just to kind of melt down towards the floor. And find a hand position that's going to be comfortable for you. Depending on the height of your little ski slope there, you might notice that you need props for underneath your arms. Find something where you can relax that collarbone, relax the shoulders. Find a leg position that's going to work for you. You can have your knees bent. If you notice that your back has enough space, you might notice that you can extend the legs, but it's not the most comfortable. Find where you can be pretty comfortable. Again, we want the props to support our body. We don't want to be gripping. We don't want to be holding. Find what works for you. And once again, melt into the floor. Invite your eyes to close if it's going to make you more comfortable. Take those little movements to get comfortable, but again, avoid the constant fidgeting, which is difficult for some people. I know, I'm one of them. But do the best you can to be supported and relaxed. Take one more full cycle of breath here. Enjoying our supported fish pose. Now coming out of this pose, it's always kind of funny. You can exert a little bit of energy to prop yourself up into the arms to lift your torso so that you come back to a sit position. Depends on how comfy-wumpy you are. You might just want to roll and fall over to one side. This is where you might make some noise with your props. But basically, you kind of want to get off of your little ramp that you just made for your torso to be supported on, enough that you can move it out of the way. Now again, take your time here. Sometimes coming out of the poses is the worst. I'm just going to move my props out of the way from behind me so that I can lay back down. I do want to have a prop handy. So I'm going to leave my bolster here. You can have your blocks, your pillow, your yoga mat, your blanket, whatever you're going to have close by. I'm going to come gently back to the floor. And again, after that pose, you might even notice you need to take a couple of wiggle jiggles just to settle in. And we're not quite done yet. I'd like to get in a little bit of a twist once more. I'm going to use my prop to help me. So we can do two versions of it. I'm going to go with the single leg and see how it feels. So once I've come back to the back, I'm going to have my prop to the left, and I'm going to bring my right knee in towards my chest. And with an exhale, I'm going to take that right knee, bring it to the left side where that prop is, and I'm going to use that prop to rest my shin, foot, knee on. Depending on how big your prop is, it might be just underneath the knee, it might be the entire shin. So we want to get in a twist here. And then we want to do the best we can to open up that chest back up towards the ceiling. So we don't want to be in a side lying position. I want to twist my spine so that I try to open up the chest to the ceiling and my knee to the side. And once again, find the position that you will be able to hold for about 5 breaths. Use the prop where you need it, but try to soften once again all of those muscles. Where are you gripping? Can you use a prop to support that spot where you're gripping? Can you see if you can release it? Does your prop need to be maybe higher? Maybe you don't need the prop here underneath your knee. Maybe you are able to get your shin all the way down to the floor in a comfortable twist. We're all different. What suits you right now? Can you still breathe? Are you still breathing? Are you relaxing? Do you notice that you are tensing up? Allow that tension again, melt into the floor. Where can you find some more ease? One more cycle of breath. And slowly, gently untwist your torso. Bring yourself back down to your back. Gently bring that right foot to the floor. Soften the left foot to the floor and take any little movement here to relax that spine. Once again, out of the twist. After your twist, you want to straighten out that spine and allow it to absorb that information. Take any little movements here that are going to help you with that. What's going to help you release the tension? And then I know that I'm going to want to use my prop. So I'm going to take my prop and I'm going to turn it over to the other side because I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Now, the first side we did the single leg, and if you want to investigate that, by all means, you can go right ahead, bringing the left knee in, and then with your exhale, taking that left knee over and putting it to your prop. If you found that that really wasn't comfortable with the single leg, and perhaps you'd like to take both of your knees into your chest and take both of your knees and put them over onto that prop into your twist, maybe you'd like that version better. You can investigate them both. I'm going to go with my single leg twist here. And again, depending on your prop, you might notice that your foot is kind of levitated. That's fine. Have the knee supported. Try to have some portion, a part of your shin propped up. I have my foot, I think it's hitting my block right now. And then open up that chest so you're trying to aim the chest towards the ceiling. And again, finding what works best for you. Finding what hand-arm position works best. You might notice that extending an arm out long is a little too uncomfortable. Maybe you want to take that arm or hand and just rest it on your rib, on your belly area here. Find the neck position that's best suited for you. Is looking up at the ceiling the best for your neck? Or maybe twisting the head to the side a little bit is more comfortable? What can you do to become more comfortable, more at ease, so that those muscles can just relax relax. Allow that low back to take in this twist. Is it so uncomfortable in that low back area that you have to come out of it? Maybe adjust your prop a little higher. What's going to work for you and your back, your head, your torso, your shoulder, your neck, right at this moment? And once again, don't forget to breathe. Don't hold your breath. See where you can soften. Enjoy the stillness. Try not to fight against the stillness. One more cycle of breath here. And then super gently, super slowly, bring yourself back to your back. Soften both of your knees, and you might need to readjust yourself on your mat. You might need to take a little wiggle jiggle, a little movement in the spine and the hips to release that twist. And then we're going to come into our resting pose. Are you going to finish your practice in your Shavasana? Maybe you want to take a prop, like a pillow or your blanket, and put it underneath your knees in your Shavasana. That might feel kind of nice. Find the shape that you are going to be able to rest in. If you notice that laying down is too uncomfortable and you'd prefer to sit, maybe take that prop behind you, prop up your hips so that you can relax those knees, those legs, those hips. Find what's going to be comfortable for you. We're going to be here for perhaps a little bit longer than usual. So make sure that you use those props to help you. What is going to be the best for you right now? Maybe those props can be used underneath your knees. Maybe you've come to a sit position and your knees are not comfortable. Maybe you want to prop something there. Maybe use your blocks. Maybe you're a little chilled and you want to use your blankie. Whatever is going to help you become more relaxed. Find the shape. And then once again, melt into the floor. Allow those muscles to soften. Allow your breath to be smooth, soft. Allow the gentle movements that we took today to be absorbed into your body. Maybe those movements, those shapes that we took today created some space for you. Maybe they made you more aware of where you are tight. Maybe some of the shapes that we took today are shapes that you will revisit because you know that they made you feel good. There's lots of information that you can process, but there's no need to occupy your mind right at this moment. Just let it release. Enjoy the stillness. Enjoy the softness. And enjoy the space that you created. Allow the breath to freely come in and out without changing it, without forcing it. Simply enjoy. Without moving just yet, start to be aware of that breath if you've drifted off. Notice the inhale. Notice the exhale. Start to invite those very gentle, very small little movements back into your body. If you're in a sit position already, stay where you're at. And if you're lying down on your back, very slowly, very gently, make your way up into your sit in whichever way is comfortable for you. And definitely taking a lazy approach here. We probably look a little dopey and a little loose. Hopefully we feel loose. And as you make your way up to your sit, we'll just be here for just another second or two to finish our practice. So find a sit position. Sit nice and tall and notice that spine. How does it feel? Better? I hope so. And as we bring our palms to meet at our heart center, we'll give thanks to our body for whatever shape it gave us today. And we'll gladly accept any ease that we've created for ourselves. We'll finish our practice here, honoring the light within. Namaste. So I hope you feel as good as I feel. This is where you kind of like, move the hair out of the way, move the clothes because they've shifted. And again, it doesn't matter. The whole idea is, did we create some goodness for our body? Did we create that, not so much the idea of, oh, I didn't get rid of every single drop of stress. Probably not. I mean, maybe you were able to, and if you could, that's not always a realistic goal. However, if I do a little bit to create some ease here, okay, maybe that'll create a little bit of ease there, and then there, and then there, and then there. And it's a domino effect. So if I'm able to have that information, those different shapes, the idea of varying that shape, find the modification, use the props to help you, use your space. Did you have music playing? Did it relax you? We want to find those things to help us relax. There are so many things going on in our lives already that are pretty fast-paced and makes us anxious. So if we can take a few minutes to take care of ourselves, maybe that'll help when you get to that situation that's a little bit uncomfortable or it's stressful. Maybe it'll help you deal with that a little bit better. So I hope you enjoyed today's little very slow and gentle little practice. And we have to have those every once in a while. It can't always be go at 150%. It's not sustainable. You need to have these type of practices in your toolbox as well. So let me know if you loved it, hated it, and I hope that it made you feel a little bit better. So we will talk to you soon, and bye for now.